session as a judge of India. It is indeed an occasion and a roller coaster of happy emotions to see another one of our own adorn the bench of one of the highest courts in the country.
To invoke the blessings of wisdom and knowledge, I now invite our dignitaries to kindly light the traditional lamp and inaugurate today's function. May this light continue to spread in all directions and inspire us all to uphold the truth, justice, and all the values enshrined in our Constitution.
I request our dignitaries to please proceed towards the dais and take their seats on the dais, please. Honorable Shri Justice P.S. Narasimha, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Shri Justice Atul P, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Respected Mrs. Chandurkar. Honorable Justice Nitin Sambre, Judge, Delhi High Court. Honorable Justice A.S. Kilor, Senior Judge, Bombay High Court, Nagpur Bench. All the Honorable Judges of the Bombay High Court. All the Honorable former Judges of the Bombay High Court. Honorable Members of the Judiciary. Learned Senior Advocates present. Members of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, learned members of the High Court Bar Association, ladies and gentlemen, I, Deul Pathak, along with Advocate Anjali Agrawal, welcome you all on this special occasion. By the sheer gamut of the number of seniors, colleagues, and friends present here today, it is evident that the description of this occasion does not need a formal introduction. The love, honor, and respect that we all feel for my Lord Justice Chandurkar is beyond words. His calm and composed demeanor, acknowledging every greeting extended to him in the corridors, even by a junior colleague, or for that matter, his articulation on the bench is well known. It is these qualities of the head and the heart which have endeared him to all of us. At the outset, I request the President of the High Court Bar Association, Shri Atul Pande, and Secretary Shri Amol Jaltare to felicitate and welcome Honorable Shri Justice P.S. Narasimha with a bouquet.
Thank you, sir. I request the President and Secretary to welcome Honorable Shri Justice Atul Chandurkar with a bouquet.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Executive Committee Member, Advocate Apurva Kolle, to please welcome Mrs. Chandurkar.
I request Advocate Pankaj Tirke, Vice President of the Bar Association, to welcome Honorable Shri Justice Nitin Sambre with a bouquet. Thank you all. I now invite Advocate Atul Pande, President, High Court Bar Association, to deliver his welcome address.
Good morning to all of you. Chief guest of today's program, Honorable Shri Justice P.S. Narasimha, Judge, Supreme Court of India, respected Honorable Shri Justice Atul S. Chandurkar, Judge, Supreme Court of India, the dignitary we are honoring today, Mrs. Chandurkar, Honorable Shri Justice Nitin Sambre, Judge, Delhi High Court, Honorable Shri Justice Anil S. Kilor, Administrative Judge, Nagpur Bench, Bombay High Court, Honorable Judges of Bombay High Court, former Judges of Bombay High Court, Senior Advocates, esteemed members of the judiciary, my colleagues and friends at the bar, the members of Chandurkar family, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of High Court Bar Association Nagpur, I feel truly proud and happy to welcome you all this morning. Today is a special day, a historic day, as we come together to felicitate Honorable Shri Justice Atul S. Chandurkar on his elevation to the Supreme Court of India. This is not just an honor for him and his family. It is a matter of pride for the entire Vidarbha region and for all of us in the legal fraternity of Maharashtra. First, let me sincerely thank Honorable Shri Justice P.S. Narasimha for being with us today as the chief guest. My Lord, despite your hectic schedule, you have taken the time to come to Nagpur and bless this occasion with your presence. We are deeply grateful, sir. When we look at Justice Chandurkar's journey, it inspires everyone, particularly every young lawyer. From his early days of practice at the HCBA and Nagpur Bar, where he stood out for his calm approach, deep research, and influential advocacy, to becoming one of the senior most judge of the Bombay High Court, and now rising to the Supreme Court, it is journey built on dedication, humility, and sheer hard work. Those of us who saw him as a lawyer remember his soft-spoken style, his clarity of thought, and the dignity with which he conducted himself in court. On the bench too, his judgments have always carried the same qualities: clarity, balance, and fairness. His decision striking down the government's fact-check unit protected freedom of speech, and in the dress code case, he showed how sensitive issue of equality and religious freedom can be handled with balance and maturity. Each of these decisions reflects his lordship's clarity, courage, and commitment to constitutional morality. His judgments are noted for their precision and an abiding sense of justice tempered with fairness. But beyond the law reports and judgments, what touches us most is the person he is. Simple, approachable, and always respectful. His humility is his true strength. We must also acknowledge the role of his family. His respected mother and late father instilled in him the value that define him today. His wife, Mrs. Gayatri Chandurkar, has been his constant support. His children, Niharika and Narhar, and the entire family have always stood by him. Their support has been as important as his own effort. On behalf of High Court Bar Association Nagpur, I offer our heartfelt congratulations to Justice Atul Chandurkar. My Lord, as you take up your responsibilities at the Supreme Court, we are confident that your work will further enrich our constitutional values and continue to inspire all of us. Sir, we are truly proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Today, we would be delighted to hear about the fond memories of my Lord Justice Chandurkar from a few senior members of the Nagpur Bar. I now invite Senior Counsel Shri Devendra Chauhan, Government Pleader, Bombay High Court, Nagpur Bench, to kindly speak a few words.
Chief guest of today's function, Honorable Shri Justice Narasimha, the guest of honor and our very own Honorable Shri Justice Nitin, Sambre, Judge, Delhi High Court, Justice Anil, Kilor, Administrative Judge, all Honorable Judges of the Bombay High Court present, former Judges of the Bombay High Court, my colleagues at the bar, senior advocates, member of the bar associations, ladies and gentlemen. All of you must have noticed that I did not name the person whom we have gathered here. And obviously there is a reason why I am saying so. Did I break the protocol, my lord? Is what I can see on many of the faces, how did I not take the name of the person who are felicitating here? I have a reason to say so, my lord. And the expressions are obvious. Pardon me, my lord, if I have done that. But I have a different opinion against the expressions that I can see. The invitations that all of you must have received has a reference or a preface before every dignitary like chief guest, guest of honor, the senior administrative judge. But absent is a reference to Justice Chandurkar. The reason, as I again say, is obvious. He is the man of the moment today. And what I can at best do is to bow down to the man. My endeavor today, friends, would only be in presence of this gathering to experience few of my personal experiences, which I am sure as I proceed in my address, you all would relate to some extent, or maybe a larger extent, because your association with my lord is much more than mine, though I have been joining quite late in the bar, maybe in the year 2000, and all of you have been together with him much prior to that. There are personalities present here and everywhere in the world where they draw their attention because of their robust appearances. And there are who command attentions by their mere presence. And a personality for whom we all have gathered here, friends, is one such man whose presence would turn around heads, not because of his Herculean build, but for the positive aura that he generates because of his presence. My entry in the profession in 2000 made me witness towering personalities dominating the courtrooms and the corridors of the High Court. And amongst those, we as junior members of the bar then saw one man, Justice Chandurkar now, then practicing advocate, working out matters in his own style, impressing with his humility, absolute politeness, and at the same time spot-on submissions on law. We would discuss as juniors then in the chambers, how does he manage to remain so calm and composed, yet opposed by such a fearsome opponent, and still turn around the toughest of judges and toughest of opponent towards him. It is this part of his personality as a lawyer, friends, that changed our perspectives as juniors during those times towards approach of this profession. We learnt it, that it is not that theoretics or flamboyancy in the courtroom that really matters. What really matters is the way you approach the judge. What really matters is how humble you are in the courtroom, and that is noticed first. A big learning lesson for all the juniors now and then when we were juniors at the bar. Justice Chandurkar then shared chamber with a close friend and a successful lawyer and a former dynamic judge of the Bombay High Court. His chamber colleagues, who were our friends at the bar, my lord, used to share some memories which I would want to share with you. They used to tell us that, look, here we have a boiler and a cooling tower in our chamber, in the form of those two chamber members whom I just referred just a while ago. They would tell us that Justice Chandurkar would act as a cooling chamber and come to our rescue when they found that the boiler got overheated. And that's what makes him a calm and a composed man. His style and an approach of being a cooling tower did not change at all the moment he stepped onto the bench. Mr. Pande was quite right in saying so, and I would add to few more things about him. We all have seen that he may not be very vocal or expressive on the bench, but his famous soft and a trademark nod with a gentle smile works wonders in the court, no matter how heated the atmosphere becomes because of the lawyers addressing him in the courtroom. Blessed with an exceptional sense of humor, there are many courtroom experiences where we have seen him taking control over the court by his one-liners. One that I recollect was when he was sharing a bench with the former Honorable Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, Justice B.P. Dharmadhikari, and I was addressing the court on a very hotly contested arbitration dispute faced by, as usual, very strong contingents of seniors at the bar to me. There was an interjection at every moment, before even I could get up and make out a point. I just could not do that. Pat comes a response from Justice Chandurkar, again with a trademark nod, and that comforting smile. All of you may be futurist to know what Mr. Chauhan is coming up. Unfortunately, we are not so. So let him complete it. Let this politeness calm down the entire atmosphere, and then I could somehow complete my point. I don't know how many of you know about it. Only thing which suffered his aggression is his favorite maroon color Varna car with bearing number 5678, which has zoomed past many of us trying to negotiate the traffic. That's his passion for driving, which he always has. But moment that car used to enter that magnificent building in the civil lines, the man on the wheels would again turn himself into what is originally a saintly human. An advice recently which occurred everywhere in the newspapers and social media from the very present bench: life of a revenge. Please do not lead the life of a revenge. This was addressed in a case where they were dealing with the issue of an army officer or an Air Force officer in a matrimonial dispute. This expression of the bench presently in front of you also indicates nothing but an inner strength to deliver and reach justice at every level. Time prevents me to stop here, friends, but I can keep on going and going and going, and that would really make the others wait, which I don't want. What I witnessed, I have expressed. I'm indeed grateful to the President of the Bar Association for choosing me amongst so many sitting here to express my feeling and views for the man whom I can only dream of matching, which I know I cannot match ever. Sir, wishing you all the best and success at the bench and future life. Grateful, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Shri Mukesh Samarth, Senior Counsel, to speak a few words and share his memories with us. I think sir is not here with us right now. I'll proceed. I'll invite Shri Anil Mardikar, Senior Counsel, to please address the gathering.
My Lord Justice Narasimha, Judge, Supreme Court of India, the main hero of the function, Justice Chandurkar, our own Justice Sambre, now Judge, Delhi High Court, and Justice Kilor, Mrs. Chandurkar, who is present on the dais, Mrs. Chandurkar the mother of Justice Chandurkar and his sister Shupata Mogavkar, all the dignitaries of the dais, ladies and gentlemen. 2 days back, Mr. Pande had called me and said that I have to say something on today's occasion. But unfortunately, because of my personal difficulties, I expressed my inability. However, day before yesterday, I called him and said that, have you finalized someone? So he said, no, I am in that mode. So I immediately grabbed the opportunity and have expressed my willingness to speak on this occasion. There are 3 reasons for that. I am seeing Justice Chandurkar for last 2 decades, initially as a lawyer, then as a judge, and also on the personal note. In the initial days when we used to meet every day at GPO Square, when we used to park our car waiting for the signal, that was the time when Justice Chandurkar used to tie his bow before entering the court, and we used to just acknowledge each other at that time. I think felicitation of Justice Chandurkar is not only felicitation of him, but it's the felicitation of the qualities which he has in abundance. And I will correlate that with the future judges and the junior lawyers as to how you can inculcate those qualities to become successful. The third reason why I chose to speak here is that when his name was making rounds for being judge of High Court, there were many who doubted his abilities, and according to me, it's a slap on their face when Justice Chandurkar rose to the highest court. As a lawyer, though he essentially practiced mainly on civil and service matters, he occasionally used to appear in criminal courts. And I remember a case where Justice Chandurkar opposed me in courtroom E, and it was Justice Tailramani's court, and I had a tough time to face him. Somehow, because of fee structure which the client of Mr. Chandurkar could not probably bear, I had some other opponent and some other court, and thereafter I could succeed. But he jailed into criminal jurisdiction also, and this quality was essentially because of hard work, sincerity, and politeness. He never shouted at judges. He never was at loss of words, but he patiently put his point across. And that quality, I must say, made him a blue-eyed boy of many of the judges then. Then came a phase when he was seen by me as a judge, and though he practiced on the civil side most of the time, but he mastered the criminal jurisdiction. He shared the bench with Chief Justice of Supreme Court now, Justice Gawai, and I had an occasion to appear quite regularly before his lordship then. The inhibition which a civil lawyer has when he becomes a criminal, he heads a criminal bench, is that they go by morality. But when you see the criminal jurisprudence, the law, and then even if you are practicing as a civil lawyer, you can be a criminal judge, a judge who can deal with criminal matters. And Justice Chandurkar excelled even in that. I think his journey to the Supreme Court has brought laurels to his family, and an unfulfilled wish of the family is fulfilled by his elevation to the Supreme Court. The calmness with which he deals with the matters, the manner in which he asks pinpointed questions, and he doesn't show that he's tired. The only yawn which he makes on the bench is by closing his mouth, and you know that you have reached at a point where now you should stop. I wish him all the best for the future, and I know the name of this bar association will be taken to further heights by Justice Chandurkar. I thank the executive committee for allowing me to express myself. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your fond memories. It is to inform that Mr. Samar, senior advocate, could not address today as he is unwell. My lord, he conveys his sincere apologies and wishes all the best. Honorable Shri Justice A.S. Kilor needs no introduction to Nagpur. He is a part of the family and a resolute pillar of strength for the Nagpur bar. I request His Lordship to kindly address the gathering.
The chief guest of today's function, Justice Shri Narasimha, today's Satkar Murti, Justice Shri Atul Chandurkar, my brother Justice Nitin Sambre, respected Chandurkar Madam, the President of the High Court Bar Association, Amol Atul Pande, Secretary Amol Jaltare, former Judge of the Supreme Court of India, Shri Jaltare sir, brother and sister judges, senior advocates, Vice Chancellor of the National Law University, advocates, respected brothers and sisters. It is truly a proud and emotional moment for all of us today as we gather to felicitate Honorable Justice Atul Chandurkar on his elevation as a Judge of the Supreme Court of India. Justice Chandurkar is known to us all not only as an excellent and knowledgeable judge, but as a kind, humble and deeply respected human being. He is someone who carries his position with grace and simplicity. He is a soft-spoken, never raises his voice, and yet his word always carries weight. One of his most admirable qualities is the patience with which he listens to the lawyers appearing before him. No matter how long complex the argument may be, he always ensures that everyone is heard fully and fairly. This quality in itself shows the depth of his judicial temperament. His code craft is something we all admire and is something every judge should observe and learn from. The way he manages his courtroom with clarity, balance and dignity is an example for every judge. The calm, balanced and methodical way in which he conducts proceedings is truly admirable. Watching him handle a courtroom is like attending a master class in how to be a fair, efficient and dignified judge. Justice Chandurkar comes from a rich legal legacy and he has added great value to it through his own distinguished career. He has always been a man of wisdom and balance, and many of us have been fortunate to call him not only a colleague but also a mentor. He always believes that real wisdom is not the knowledge of everything, but the knowledge of which things in life are necessary, which are less necessary, and which are completely unnecessary to know. Among the most necessary knowledge is the knowledge how to live well, how to produce the least possible evil and greatest goodness in one's life. For me personally, he has also been troubleshooter. Whenever I faced any difficulty, whether in work or otherwise, I turned to him. His advice was always clear, calm, and correct. He has helped me and many others in more ways than we expressed. There is also a more personal memory. I would like to share. After court hours, we had a small but cherished routine. We would sit together for 15 to 20 minutes with a cup of tea and discuss the issues of the day. These conversations were not just about legal points, but also about life and challenges. This continued throughout his time in Nagpur. Even after change of his headquarters to Mumbai, and when I was in Mumbai for about 7 months last year, we continued this practice. It became a habit, a quiet comfort at the end of long court day. Now, if there is one thing I truly missed, it is those tea time discussions with Justice Chandurkar. That bond, that exchange of thoughts and experiences was truly special. And I must share, the practice of having a cup of tea at the end of court day and discussing various issues is something I have continued here in Nagpur with my colleagues. It is my small way of remembering Justice Chandurkar every single day. His presence is felt even in his absence. Justice Chandurkar is the 8th judge from Nagpur who has been elevated to the Supreme Court of India. And with his elevation, the dignity of that post has only increased. He brings honor not only to the bench, but also to the bar and city he represents. His integrity, humility, wisdom, and dedication make him the kind of judge we all inspire to become. He has never misused his power, and in every way, he has upheld the true spirit of justice. At this moment, I congratulate the HCBA for inviting Honorable Shri Justice Narasimha to felicitate Shri Justice Chandurkar. Justice Narasimha is recognized for his integrity, sincerity, and vast experience. He too comes from a rich legal legacy. His father was a judge and well-known legal writer. His elder brother is a distinguished senior advocate practicing in Hyderabad. Justice Narasimha himself was designated as a senior advocate and later appointed as an additional Solicitor General of India. His presence today adds to the grace and significance of this occasion. On behalf of everyone present here, I offer my heartfelt congratulations to Honorable Shri Justice Chandurkar. Sir, we are proud of you. We wish you all the best as you begin this new and well-deserved chapter in the highest court of the country. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for sharing those memories. We are deeply honored to welcome back to his own bar, my Lord Justice Nitin Sambre. His Lordship has had a long association with Justice Chandurkar, both as a member of the bar and later as a member of the judiciary in the Bombay High Court. I would request my Lord to please address the gathering.
The senior judge of the Apex Court, Justice Pamidighantam, Shri Narasimha, today's celebrated figure amongst all of us, Justice Chandurkar, our Gayatri Vaini, Administrative Judge Justice Kilor, my brother and sister judges, of course Justice Jaltare, who is always a guiding force for all of us, Mrs. Jaltare, Chandurkar, and family members of Justice Chandurkar. I could see the former judges here, academicians, our Vice Chancellor of National Law School, of course Symbiosis Law School's Director, brother and sister judges, sister lawyers. It was in November 2023 that I was asked by the Chief Justice to be in Nagpur from Bombay, and the cause was the seniority of Justice Chandurkar prompted him to be the member of the administrative committee, and his physical presence was required much at principal seat. I don't know about my brother and sister judges after my taking over the assignment here as an administrative judge. But what is said by the President of the Bar and the former speakers, Mr. Chauhan, Mr. Madikar, perhaps the bar members must have felt the difference in the approach and the calmness that earlier they enjoyed and subsequent to I becoming an administrative judge here. Today I could witness another facet to today's program. It's after Justice Chandurkar's elevation and my shifting to Delhi High Court. From May, this program was due, and perhaps the bar was after Justice Chandurkar to give some date for today's program. And it's only perhaps was to happen after this bench, Nagpur bench, gets the entire strength of bar judges. And perhaps this is one of the celebration which prompts us to not only welcome the new judges here, but also our own Justice Chandurkar making it to the Supreme Court. Justice Chandurkar has always been admired for his soft-spoken and composed personality. He truly represents calmness and precision in whatever he does. These are the qualities that define the making of a perfect judge. His serene demeanor, coupled with the deep scholarship, has ensured that his judgments are not only legally sound, but also human, carrying with the quiet weight of fairness and reason. He carries himself with a measured silence. I admittedly feel every gap with chatter. Perhaps it is precisely this difference that makes our association so warm and special, because his calm balance, my storm, my chatter, fills his silence. Yet, behind this humorous contrast lies a profound truth. Justice Chandurkar has consistently exemplified the noble ideals of the judiciary with integrity, fairness, and devotion to the justice. His ruling have had a profound impact not only on the legal landscapes but also on the lives of ordinary citizens. His judgments remind us that the law is not a lifeless code but a living promise to the people. As he now assumes his role in Supreme Court of India alongside distinguished judges like our chief guest, Honorable Justice Narasimha, the nation has gained yet another guardian of constitutional values. I have no doubt that Justice Chandurkar will continue to display the same balance, wisdom, and quiet strength in discharging his new responsibilities. Justice Chandurkar, today we felicitate you not only for your elevation but also for the values you embody, like sincerity without show, strength without noise, and dignity without display. You remind us that the true authority flows not from the volume but from wisdom. Justice Chandurkar's elevation is not just a personal achievement, it is a collective moment of pride for all of us at the Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court. Here, we do not function merely as judges, advocates, or the court staff in our separate capacities. We function as one family. Whether it is the bench, the bar, the registry, the office staff, or the attorneys, each one of us has contributed to the journey that shapes the character of this institution. It is this sense of belonging that makes today's felicitation truly meaningful. In celebrating the rise of Justice Chandurkar, we also celebrate the values that the Nagpur bench stands for, such as hard work, integrity, the warmth of close-knit community. This bench has always been more than a workplace. It has been a shared home where every member, from the senior-most judge to the youngest clerk, contributes to the cause of justice. And so, your rise to the Supreme Court feels like the collective rise of this entire family whose support and spirit have shaped his journey in countless ways. On behalf of everyone gathered here, I extend my heartfelt congratulations. May you continue to inspire us with your judgments, your fairness, and your humility. And whenever the serious burdens of Supreme Court weigh heavily upon you, remember you will always find friends like me ready with some laughter, social company, and of course, excellent food. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my lord, for sharing your associations with my lord. It is indeed an honor to have Honorable Shri Justice P.S. Narasimha with us here today. Born on 3rd May 1963 at Hyderabad, my lord graduated with triple majors in economics, political science, and public administration from Nizam College of Hyderabad. My lord pursued law at the Campus Law Center, Delhi University. My lord was enrolled at the bar in 1988 and practiced before the High Court, civil courts, and tribunals in Hyderabad. Later, his lordship shifted the counsel practice to Supreme Court. My lord was designated as a senior advocate by the full court of Supreme Court of India in the year 2008. As a senior advocate, his lordship appeared in many public law cases involving constitutional, administrative, and environmental issues. My lord was appointed as the Additional Solicitor General of India in 2014. During that time, his lordship assisted the court as a law officer in several landmark cases before the Constitution bench. My lord had the rare opportunity of heading the team which represented India before the International Tribunal for the Law of Sea in Hamburg, Germany. His lordship also represented India before the Permanent Court of Arbitration, Hague, in investment treaty arbitration. My lord was elevated as Judge of the Supreme Court of India directly from the bar on 31st August 2021. I now invite my lord to share his thoughts with us.
I will start with pranams to Mataji of Brother Chandurkar, for I think that's where his evolution has commenced. Esteemed Brother Chandurkar, Gayatri Bhavi, sister, Justice Sambre, Justice Anil Kilor, President of the Bar and Secretary, my Guru in a way, Justice Sirpurkar is here, all judges of the High Court, members of the Bar, senior advocates, registry, and other members. This is the second time that I am coming here, and this time I am more enthusiastic for having sat with my brother for some time, and I already have great memories of our collaboration in the court. I am also carrying messages of three of my two of my colleagues and my Chief Justice, I asked my Chief, what do you want me to say? He said, first and foremostly, tell them that because of a prior commitment, I am not able to come. I said more. Then he said, Brother Chandurkar, for him, work is worship. He said he enjoyed his tenure in Nagpur while he was conducting proceedings here. He sat with him for a long time and he said he had great memories. I asked Justice Deepankar. He said, there is one judge the entire bar has accepted so much that the bar virtually loves him. And he said he would also rely on him and not take any decision without consulting him. I asked Varale. He said, Bhai Sahab, main kal bolu? Then he said, next day he called me very early in the morning. And he said, Aisa, sir, he shifted to Bombay because his father was working there. And after his father, by the time his father retired from service, he had already put in much effort and made a name for himself. But when his father wanted to shift back to Nagpur, he left everything, lock, stock and barrel, and came back to Nagpur to start all over again. He says, this is a great value in him, that career be whatever, but then the duty towards his father and family remained with him. This, he said, is an extraordinary feature of Justice Chandurkar. We speak about professional achievements from time to time. Like anyone, we build our career step by step, brick by brick. Our denials from time to time of the better things in life, and over a period you secure a good name for yourself and are stabilized in the profession and start getting some work. This happens to all those who are successful in the profession. Behind that phase of success, I think there was already a personality which was built in him, secretly and without sharing with anyone, realizing what are the real values in life and continue to nurture them. And as the profession changes, and when he became a judge after being a lawyer, the duties were different, obviously, but then the personality continued to be the same, I suppose. How he was as a lawyer, I think people who knew him intimately, even as a judge, he was the same. Soft-spoken, humble, brevity in his speech, sincerity to the core. Those qualities reflected yet again as a judge. And then when he came to Supreme Court, I had the opportunity of sitting with him. I think yet again, as he performed his duties, I could see the personality behind him, which was born in him early in life and continued as he passed through profession and judgeship, and he came to the Supreme Court. He was an author. He has a great interest in cricket. He continues to enjoy those. But there is some facet which I just wanted to share with you that relates to a thought which came to my mind as to how this profession deals with two important values. One is speech and one is truth. How do we deal with these two? They are very integrally connected to one another. As a lawyer, speech is absolutely important for us. And as a judge, speech in the sense of written text in the form of judgments are also equally important. what is it? What is that connect that we see in the process of advocacy as well as a judge, the relationship of speech and truth, so to say. As adversarial litigation, I'm just sharing this thought with all of you because it's a Bar Association's conference. And provocation for sharing this with you is my esteemed brother. That's the provocation which makes me share this thought with you. And while my written notes is something else, what I am sharing with you is something which came to my mind. Something which came to my mind as I boarded the flight in the morning. See, this is all adversarial litigation, right? And the purpose of it is to find out the truth. Simple. There's an advocate, there is a defense, there is a prosecution, and then there is a judge. All three have the common effort of finding out what exactly is the truth. So decipherment of the truth is the purpose and object of the judiciary. Then if truth is to be found, the means of finding out the truth is through a dialogue, is an argument before the court. So what are the parameters of that argument? So that thought was there in my mind for a very long time. As when I read one phrase of Kalidas, it triggered much more thought. It said, Satyaya mitabashinam. It says, in order to attain truth, you must speak less. That was a very big challenge. If truth is to be found, the principle is you must speak less. How does the profession of lawyers manage with this dilemma? At the same time, how does a judge manage with it? Judge has to manage it in the context of writing judgments. Advocate has to manage it in the context of brevity in arguments. How is the world now today? Today the situation is that, ask this question to yourself. If you know an answer in a debate and the question is raised, will you keep quiet? We will be the first persons to answer. We always want to be in the center stage. That is what the profession demands. That is what even the requirement of being always noticed demands. That is how the system is working. We always need to be in the forefront. We always need to state and be the first. That is the requirement. That is the method of recognition also. It is in this context we may also realize that we are perhaps little moving away from what the truth is. The challenge for a lawyer is to make his arguments precise and brevity. For the need for such a decision is to be closer to truth. At the same time, the compelling need, I am underlining that line, the compelling need of a judge is to speak less anyway, which doesn't really happen, and to write little, to write precise, to write as small as possible, and to convey the truth. That is where the truth will be glaring. This is, I think, is a sadhana. It is an exercise which we have to undertake yet again, because we seem to have moved away with the social media and the requirement to speak so much. Every word gets reported in the news, and sitting judges might get attracted. And worse is, post-retirement judges think that that's the time has come when I have to talk now, as if it's a full-time talk. I think that's not the way the system should work. The way the system should work is measured speech, measured talk. Think before you say. Kalyana hitam proktam. See if this word actually leads to truth, number one, and whether that speech leads to prosperity of one and all. We keep these two principles in mind, I think, our profession will do much better. The provocation for saying this again and come back is two things. Of course, you all know there's nothing I am going to tell you about Brother Chandurkar. Restraint in speech is his quality. You ask, only then if it is necessary he will say, or else he will keep quiet, and in that silence there is an answer. If you reflect on it, you will realize that he is actually a very, very powerful person. You know, power is not by transferring one to another place. Power is in the context of his control over his speech. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. It's built over a period of time with his practice and from his younger formative days. That way, you are powerful in the sense that you know what you are saying, you have control over what you say, and you have control over what you write. There was a little, not a complicated case, but both parties came before us in an arbitration matter, submerged us with facts, two rival brothers fighting, two families fighting. We heard the usual overstated case by the lawyers on both sides, unnecessary facts dumped on us, additional arguments dumped on us. Then that quality must exist in every judge. As they say that the swan takes the water and milk and ejects the milk out. When I requested when brother said, can you write a decision, judgment on this? He said straight away, in about a week, 10 days time, no reference to any of the irrelevant facts. All the facts which had no bearing on the decision making were completely excluded. Precise facts interconnected to one another, straight leading to the decision that needs to be taken, were arrived at without any difficulty, simple as ever, as straightforward as they were, and the conclusions were drawn. I was a bit jealous to see how beautifully he crafted the judgment. It's a quality. It doesn't come automatically. It's a quality. It's a sadhana, I said. You need to train yourself to argue. You need to train yourself to write. These two qualities need to be built. Our youngsters should be taught how to speak precisely. I was yesterday speaking to members of the Bar Association for rectifying the Supreme Court rules. We have not till now collaborated with lawyers for decision making. We have only permitted lawyers to address us on their argument and go away. Where is that obligation on the shoulders of a lawyer to see that both the petitioner and respondent lawyer sit together few minutes before the case is taken up and decide which are the permissible arguments here and confine their arguments to this and help a judge in arriving at a judgment. That obligation on the shoulders of the lawyers was not put till now. It may not be fair because I am just a 3-year-old judge as against many of you. But equally I am saying that time has come when actual collaboration must take place and some amount of responsibility about the decision making also must rest on the shoulders of the lawyers, not simply the baby of a judge. So that's the advantage that we have in Justice Chandurkar, who has that power in him to translate a problem into a simple solution, and that's an asset which Nagpur has parted and fortunately given us in the Supreme Court. We are grateful to the Nagpurians for having given us Brother Chandurkar. He is a real asset to us, and I'm extremely happy to have participated in this function. Last word is that I believe that justice dispensation requires disappearance of a judge. A judge should not be seen. Judge has no business to be there in the process except that he decides. His personality, so to say, as an individual, having written a better judgment, all this is unnecessary. Judge does nothing more than decides, and he disappears, quote unquote. He is a judge who has disappeared, but his decisions only speak, and they speak volumes. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, my lord, for that thoughtful and edifying address. We have all gathered here today to celebrate a momentous occasion in the history of legal circles of Nagpur. It is with a feeling of eager delight that we welcome the elevation of my Lord Justice Chandurkar as a judge of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. My lord was born in Bhusawal and completed his education from Pune. My lord is an alumni of the prestigious ILS Law College, Pune. My lord started his practice in the chambers of senior advocate Shri Bhimrao Naik in 1988 and later on shifted his practice to Nagpur in January 1992. He practiced mainly on the civil side and appeared in various courts including the trial and the appellate courts. My lord also represented various bodies and corporations. During his practice days, my lord was the affable and approachable senior to whom any member of the junior bar could walk up to, and he would always be welcomed and his doubts would always be solved. My lord's calm and composed demeanor as he would proceed from one courtroom to another in the High Court and yet always argue with the same aplomb and poise is well known. His authorship of books is something which I need not speak about here. But many would not know that my lord was an active athlete and was an 800-meter dash champion during his college days, which he luckily gave up for others to have some scope. My lord was elevated as a judge of the Bombay High Court on 21st June 2013. My lord became a permanent judge of the Bombay High Court on 2nd March 2016. All of Nagpur rejoiced when my lord was elevated on 30th May 2025 as a judge of the Honorable Supreme Court of India. The High Court Bar Association takes this opportunity to commemorate this happy occasion, and on behalf of the High Court Bar Association, I request my Lord Justice Narasimha to kindly felicitate Honorable Shri Justice Chandurkar with a shawl, shrifle and a bouquet.
Thank you so much, sir. As we now move to a very special part of today's ceremony, I invite Advocate Shraddhanand Bhutra to read out the citation that encapsulates the remarkable journey and achievements of Honorable Shri Justice Atul Chandurkar.
My Lord Justice P.S. Narasimha, My Lord Justice Sambre, My Lord Justice Kilor, all dignitaries on and off the dais, as I stand here to read out the scroll of honor, I am reminded of a Sanskrit shlok which reads thus: Mahajanasya sansargah kasya nunnati karakah padma patrasthitam toyam dhatte mukta falashriyam, and which translates thus: company of great people is always beneficial. Drop of water on lotus leaf appears like a pearl. Today's Satkar Murti, my Lord Justice Chandurkar, is our lotus leaf, and the words in the scroll of honor are the drops of water. This scroll of honor is a, if I may use this word, synopsis of the warm feelings swelling in the hearts of all the learned members of the High Court Bar Association Nagpur towards my Lord Justice Chandurkar. The High Court Bar Association Nagpur awards this scroll of honor to Honorable Lordship Justice Atul Sharatchandra Chandurkar, Judge, Honorable Supreme Court of India, with a sense of immense pride and pleasure for his remarkable and invaluable contribution to the fields of law and justice. Lordship is known to be a sincere student of law, a preeminent lawyer, and a judge par excellence. The bar remembers Lordship as a lawyer with extraordinary abilities like industry, research, perseverance, diligence, logical thinking, and distinctive communication skills, amongst others. These outstanding qualities resulted in the timely elevation of his Lordship as a judge of the Bombay High Court. On the bench, Lordship continues to glitter and stand out by his decisions and judgments, which have an inimitable and distinctive character. Lordship's judgments are lucid and are crafted with great care and precision. Lordship played a pivotal role in shaping the colleague judges by his mastery over law and by his laudable conduct that never left any room for criticism. Although Lordship has achieved an enviable position as the judge of the highest court of justice in India, the virtues of modesty, graciousness, and humility accompany Lordship wherever he goes, which is why Lordship is greatly respected and revered by all the stakeholders in the legal system. The High Court Bar Association Nagpur heartily congratulates Lordship on his well-deserved and richly merited elevation as a judge of the Supreme Court of India and wishes Lordship an exceedingly successful and rewarding tenure. Thus, in deference to the invaluable contribution of Lordship Justice Atul Sharatchandra Chandurkar, Judge, Supreme Court of India, to the legal landscape of this country, the High Court Bar Association Nagpur takes pride in conferring this scroll of honor to Lordship on this 27th day of September 2025 at Nagpur. Thank you.
I request the President, Advocate Atul Pande, and the entire executive body of the High Court Bar Association to kindly present the citation to Honorable Justice Chandurkar. I request all the office bearers to kindly come on stage.
I now request the representatives of various bar associations to kindly come forward and stand beside the dais. On behalf of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, I invite Advocate Parijat Pande to kindly come forward and felicitate my Lord.
I now request Senior Advocate Deven Chauhan to present a bouquet on behalf of the Government Leader's Office.
On behalf of Union of India, I invite Advocate Bhaskar Pandit, Advocate Anjali Joshi, Advocate Charan Dhumne, to kindly come forward and felicitate my lord.
Request Advocate Nitin Telgote, District Government Leader, to kindly felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the District Bar Association Nagpur, I invite Advocate Roshan Bagre, President, and Advocate Sandeep Bavangade, the Secretary, to kindly come forward and felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Maharashtra Administrative Tribunal Chief Presiding Officer, I call upon Advocate Shrikant Dev and Advocate Ashutosh Potnis to kindly come forward to felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Central Administrative Tribunal Bar Association, I invite Advocate Lehri, President, and Advocate Renuka Nalamwar, Secretary, to kindly come forward and felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Vidarbha Labor Law Practitioners Association, I request Advocate Ninad Almelkar, President, and Advocate Feroz Khan, Secretary, to kindly come forward to felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Maharashtra Administrative Tribunal Association, I invite Advocate Narendra Thomre, President, and Advocate Santosh Gaikwad, Executive Member, to kindly come forward and felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Charity Bar Association, I request Advocate Anil Thakre, President, and Advocate Sri Ganesh Abhyankar, Secretary, to kindly felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Vidarbha Lady Lawyers Association, I invite Advocate Uma Bhattar, President, and Advocate Neerja Chaube, Secretary, to kindly come forward and felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Family Court Bar Association, I request Advocate Vasanti Rinke, Secretary, and Advocate Nilesh Pantavane, Joint Secretary, to kindly come forward to felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Consumer Advocate Association, I invite Advocate Anuradha Deshpande, President, and Advocate Swati Panikar, Secretary, to kindly come forward and felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Consumer Advocate Association, on behalf of the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal Bar Association, I request Advocate Manoj Moriani to kindly come forward to felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Assistant Director and Public Prosecutor Nagpur, I invite Advocate Maithili Karwit to come forward and felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Akhil Bharatiya Sanyukta Adhivakta Manch Bharat, I request Advocate Sharma and Advocate Gautami Narnavre to kindly come forward to felicitate my lord.
On behalf of the Adhivakta Parishad, I invite Advocate Ganesh Khanzode and Advocate Ira Khishti to come forward and felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of Vidhi Aghadi, I request Advocate Sanket Yadav and Advocate Girish Khorgade to kindly come forward to felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of the Charity Lady Lawyers Association, I request Advocate Nanda Deshmukh, President, and Advocate Dipti Tidke, Secretary, to come forward and felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of the District Bar Association Bhandara, I request Advocate Deepak Deshmukh and Advocate Jayant Bisen to kindly come forward to felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of the Karmeshwar Bar Association, I request Advocate Hemant Tajne and Advocate Nilesh Anjankar to kindly come forward and felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of the Gondia Bar Association, I request Advocate T.B. Katre to kindly come forward to felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of Tiroda Bar Association, I request Advocate Harin Khede, President, and Advocate Ajay Yadav, Secretary, to kindly come forward and felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of the Umred Bar Association, I request Advocate Salim Sheikh, President, and Advocate Dinesh Butle, Joint Secretary, to kindly come forward to felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of Bhivapur Bar Association, I request Advocate Prabhakar Nagose, President, and Advocate Prakash Khatik, Secretary, to kindly come forward and felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of the Kamthi Bar Association, I request Advocate Avinash Bhimte and Advocate Praveen Gajwe to kindly come forward to felicitate my Lord.
On behalf of the Taluka Bar Association, Parsivni, I request Advocate Shankarlal Pradeshi and Advocate Milind Kumar Paliwal to kindly come forward and felicitate my Lord. Thank you so much, sir. And now, with all humility and anticipation, I invite our esteemed guest for today's function, Honorable Shri Justice Atul Chandurkar, to kindly address the gathering and reply to the felicitation.
नमस्कार. आज आपण सर्व इतक्या मोठ्या संख्येने माझा सत्कार करण्यासाठी उपस्थित झाल्यामुळे मी पूर्णपणे भारावून गेलो आहे. काय बोलावं आता हे सुचत नाही आहे. आपल्या सर्वांचा आभार मानावा यासाठी शब्द कमी पडतील, तरी प्रयत्न करतो. Chief guest of today's function and my esteemed brother, Justice Narasimha, guest of honor and former secretary of the High Court Bar Association, Justice Nitin Sambre, administrative judge at the Nagpur bench and former president of the High Court Bar Association, Justice Anil Kilor, my esteemed colleagues at the Nagpur bench, including those who have been recently elevated, Justice Chandurkar, retired judge, Supreme Court, the President of the High Court Bar Association, Shri Atul Pande, Secretary, Shri Amol Jaltare, various other dignitaries present, including the Vice Chancellor, Shri Vijendra Kumar, and Director of the Symbiosis Institute, Shri Dari, State Information Commission, Shri Rahul Pande, senior advocates, designated and otherwise, members of the registry, office bearers and members of various bar associations who have specially taken time to be present today, all my advocate friends, ladies and gentlemen. It is a matter of great personal honor and immense pride to be felicitated today by my own bar, the High Court Bar Association, Nagpur. I stand before you with all humility, truly overwhelmed by the love and affection showered by all of you. I do not as much consider my elevation to the Supreme Court of India as a personal achievement, but I consider it as a collective recognition of the Nagpur Bar and an opportunity to one of its members. I consider it as an opportunity to one of its members to represent it before the Supreme Court. This has been possible only due to the grooming that I have had as a member of the Nagpur Bar and then as a judge who for most of his tenure was at Nagpur. It is only because of the opportunities that I got at Nagpur that the platform was set for my future journey. I view today's felicitation as a celebration of the Nagpur Bar and its collective spirit rather than anything personal. I sincerely thank the High Court Bar Association, its office bearers, as well as all its esteemed members for honoring me today. Your presence today in such large numbers is really touching and inspiring. I am at a loss of words to express my sincere gratitude to all of you. It is a personal privilege as well as an honor for me to be felicitated by Honorable Justice P.S. Narasimha, one of the senior judges of the Supreme Court. During his days at the bar, he was one of the most sought-after senior counsel at the Supreme Court. He has authored many important and relevant decisions having impact over a wide spectrum of issues in our country. Just last week, he authored a judgment concerning the All India Football Federation, highlighting the directive principles in Part 4 of the Constitution and interpreting them for furthering the cause of sports in general. I think it would be necessary to quote a short paragraph of his judgment that would reflect on his lordship. And I quote, "It is high time we recognize that sporting facilities and opportunities are material resources of the community and their organizers are the institutions of the national life. As places of public resort, sporting institutions and bodies must remain accessible, not just for pursuing sport, but also for its administration. It should be the deeper endeavor of the state, and it is also our constitutional duty to ensure that sporting facilities and opportunities flourish with institutional efficiency, integrity, professionalism, and expertise. Unquote. I am told by the members of the bar that it is always a pleasure to appear before His Lordship, who is known for his great sense of justice. Every day with him is a new learning experience, given his great legal acumen. I am personally indebted to him for having spared his time and graced today's function, despite his various pressing commitments. The earlier speakers have been more than generous in their praise for me. I personally do not think that I am worthy of all the good things that have been said about me. The Nagpur bar is known for its generosity on such occasions. I thus accept the accolades showered on me with all humility and gratitude. I would only say that these are all expectations that the bar has from the bench, and that I would always endeavor to stand up to these high expectations. The Nagpur bar has always been in the forefront when it comes to protecting human values and dignity. It has a tradition steeped in cooperation amongst all its members and is concerned with the collective good of all. I remember various initiatives taken by the bar when it was noticed that its members were in some kind of difficulty, be it a medical emergency or some financial difficulty or any other problem. The collective spirit of helpfulness is never lost amongst its members. I recollect the difficult times spent by all of us during the COVID pandemic. Though I was at the other side of the bar, I am aware of the various efforts and sacrifices made by the members to ensure that all of us come out safely from these testing times. This bar has taught me the spirit of collective effort. It has ingrained in me the importance of we collectively instead of me individually. We must bear in mind that whatever height one scales in the profession, the ties with the parent bar are never severed. In fact, one is always recognized as the product of his parent bar, and that identity is never wiped out. The bar has definitely contributed and played a positive role in my judicial journey. I will therefore always proudly flaunt my identity as a member of the High Court Bar Association, Nagpur. I humbly accept this felicitation, again not in my individual capacity, but as a representative of the High Court Bar Association, and I represent all of you collectively at the Supreme Court. Our bar boasts of a great heritage, and each one of us who has practiced here is proud of it. We have had various illustrious members who have given a distinct identity as well as national recognition to the Nagpur bar. Naming a few would be doing disservice to a larger majority. Reference has also been made to distinguished former members who hail from this bar and who have adorned the Supreme Court. They were indeed great legal luminaries who have made Nagpur proud. Their meaningful contribution to the legal field is remembered proudly even today. They act as role models, inspiring us to improve every day. We are indeed very fortunate to have had such a great legacy to fall back and guide us. Coming to the present times, I may share a heartening incident concerning the Nagpur bar. I was fortunate to be part of the Constitution bench that heard the reference made by the Honorable President under Article 143 of the Constitution of India. My esteemed brother, Justice Narasimha, was also on the said bench. At the conclusion of his submissions, Shri Gopal Subramaniam a distinguished senior advocate, made a specific reference to the fact that 2 of the 5 judges on the Constitution bench were from Nagpur. He referred to the valuable contribution of distinguished former judges from the Nagpur bar and also advised members of the Supreme Court bar to visit Nagpur and have a look at the handwritten manuscripts. He specifically said that you should have a look at the handwritten manuscripts of the judgments of great Justice Vivian Bose. It was indeed a proud moment for the Chief Justice of India and myself to hear such compliments. It was yet another feather in the cap of the Nagpur bar. I may also remind the gathering that all the 3 judges representing the Bombay High Court presently in the Supreme Court have had a long connection with Nagpur. In fact, 2 of them happen to be members of the High Court Bar Association, which is a matter of great pride for all of us. I have specifically highlighted these positives with a purpose. Sometimes there is a perception that Nagpur is just a bench of the Bombay High Court and therefore it may not hold much promise. It is thought that it would be better to move to bigger cities like Mumbai or Delhi. This perception, in my view, does not hold much water from the various historical facts which I have referred to earlier. Nagpur holds as much promise for the bar as do Mumbai and Delhi. From my personal experience, I would definitely say that Nagpur has a court that holds out promises and hope for the future. I am sure that the Nagpur bar would continue to strive hard and keep our flag flying. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that our great traditions are carried forward in the future. On a personal note, I have very fond and pleasant memories of the time that I had spent at the bar. The challenge to reach the court before 10:30 a.m. in the morning and thereafter mention matters for circulation was always on. There was always an opportunity to sit in different courts and listen to the arguments of distinguished seniors that helped you in learning the court crafts. Do's and don'ts were learnt sometimes from your own mistakes and sometimes from the mistakes of others. Waiting for your turn till 4:15 in the afternoon, which was the time of the court, and also to attempt and remove the office objections before your matter could be listed, taught you patience. The time spent in the canteen over a cup of tea was always cherished. The almost 25 years that I spent at the bar definitely shaped me for the challenges that lay ahead. After your senior's chamber, the bar is considered your best teacher, where you get to learn something or the other daily. The only effort required was that you ought to be in the right court at the right time. I may state with pride that I too was a member of the Executive Committee of the High Court Bar Association from 1997 to 1999. During that tenure, we could witness the shifting of the Bar Association and the bar rooms from the main building to the annex where they are presently located. The lectures organized by the study circle were always keenly awaited, just like the annual sports activities. There was never a dull moment when at the bar. What I could learn and gather from all these experiences is that at the end of the day, you are judged not by the number of cases you have won or lost. You are judged by the manner in which you have conducted yourself in that process. Your overall conduct carries more weight than the statistics of success or failure. The statistics are merely incidental. The impact of your conduct has many positives which take you a long way. In fact, this is also the principle in life. You all have been witness to my transition from the bar to the bench. From pleading the case of a petitioner or a respondent, one was required to weigh both sides to determine on which side the justice of the case was present. I was fortunate to be guided by my esteemed senior colleagues on the bench, especially when I sat in the division bench with them. I may state that all my senior colleagues, without any exception, gave me all the opportunities so as to groom me and build my confidence while discharging my duties as a judge. But for these opportunities given to me, it would not have been possible to reach this stage. I take this opportunity to heartily acknowledge their valuable guidance as well as the trust and confidence that they bestowed on me. I may also state that I received wholehearted support and cooperation from all my partners on all benches that I could head. We must bear in mind that the court as an institution operates in perpetuity and that we as judges play just a small role for some time to ensure that the journey towards the destination of justice continues without any pause. This journey cannot be smooth without the meaningful cooperation of the bar. It is always said that the bar is an equal stakeholder along with the bench for reaching the destination or the ultimate goal towards justice. While the bar attempts to highlight and espouse the cause of the litigant, the bench attempts to ensure that in the said process, the cause of justice is served. The bar and bench thus complement each other in this regard. One is incomplete without the assistance and cooperation of the other. Speaking for myself, I have always tried to focus on the case presented before me rather than, with due apologies to the bar, on the counsel who is appearing. This is for the simple reason that we in the legal profession, be it the judges or the lawyers, are merely the means for reaching the ultimate destination of justice. We must bear in mind that we are not the end. Much has been said about the conduct of proceedings in our court. The earlier speakers from the bar were perhaps overawed by the presence of all dignitaries on the dais, and hence they presented a nice and rosy picture that was portrayed. Every judge ultimately has his own way of conducting his court. What may be appreciated in one court may not always be welcomed in another. The success of a lawyer often depends on how skillfully and tactfully he or she adapts to different courts to take home a point. Speaking for myself, I may confess that I have always been guided by the thoughts of my illustrious uncle, late Chief Justice M. Chandurkar. I quote what he said at his ovation on being elevated. To quote, "A judge should avoid all seeming to know the law which he does not know. He should take it patiently and quietly from counsel. A judge should avoid too great a haste, talk so far as to let the counsel know the difficulties which press on his mind in the view he presents, but not so as to prevent his answering these difficulties. Give a benignant and receptive listening to each side so as to feel the full force of the argument on each side and then judge between them." Unquote. These thoughts have and would continue to guide me every day. It is said that the least the bar expects from the bench is an opportunity of patient hearing and accommodation on some occasions. There cannot be any quarrel with these expectations, nor should they pose any difficulty in being met. Since I am on the other side now, I may state that there are also reciprocal expectations from the bench. Same are preparedness in your case and its presentation with clarity and brevity. Presence of these aspects would improve the quality of justice. Thus, if the bar and bench meet the expectations of each other, it would only benefit the litigants who look up to us collectively with the profound hope and respect to get justice. Before I conclude, I must express my gratitude to all members of the High Court Bar Association, both senior as well as junior, for having felicitated me today, who as a member of your association. is proud to represent it. I must admit that I have learnt something or the other from each one of you on each single day. It is due to the strength of your blessings and good wishes that I stand before you today. I am also grateful to all my senior colleagues on the bench who have always guided me and have ensured my comfort in their presence. I express my gratitude to the Collegium of the Supreme Court, led by the Chief Justice of India, for having given me an opportunity to represent the Nagpur Bar in the Supreme Court. Last but not the least, I may state that it is because of the hardships and sacrifices made by earlier generations in our family that it was possible for me to be where I am today. My parents, as well as my sister and her family, have always been constant sources of support and encouragement for me. I cannot forget to mention my better half, Gayatri, who has always stood by me in all testing times. She has been the silent sufferer of my unrelenting schedules, both when I was at the bar and even today. She has ensured that the journey throughout remains smooth at all times. I take leave by wishing each one of you and your families all the very best in life, both on the professional as well as personal front. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, my lord, for your kind words. We are privileged to have amongst us Mrs. Gayatri Chandurkar, who has graced the occasion today. I request our executive member, Advocate Priyanka Authavle Arbat, to kindly present a memento to Mrs. Chandurkar to mark the occasion.
As my Lord Justice Narasimha rightly pointed out, the teaching of all the humility begins at home. We are also graced today by Madam Meenakshi Chandurkar, who is present here. I would request Senior Advocate Kumkum Shirpurkar Madam to kindly felicitate her with a shawl and a shrifle. We have also amidst our presence today, Mrs. Shubha Mogaonkar, my Lord's sister. I would request our executive committee member, Advocate Apurva Kole, to please present a memento to her. The High Court Bar Association would like to take this opportunity to thank various dignitaries who have graced this event with their august presence today. I request the President and the Secretary of the Bar Association to present a memento, a shawl and a shrifle to Honorable Justice Narasimha.
Thank you so much. It is a fortune that we can call Honorable Shri Justice Atul Chandurkar as one of our own. The High Court Bar Association takes this opportunity to present a memento to my Lord. I call upon President Advocate Atul Pande and Treasurer Advocate Madhav Lakhe to present the memento. Thank you, sir. I request Advocate Prithviraj Chauhan, Joint Secretary, and Advocate Amol M, Executive Member, to present a memento to Honorable Shri Justice Nitin Sambre as a small token of our gratitude.
I request Advocate Vishwajit Singh Oberoi and Advocate Aniruddha Anantakrishnan to please present a token of our appreciation to Honorable Justice Anil Kilor, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. As we approach the conclusion of this memorable ceremony, I now request Advocate Amol Jaltare, the Secretary of the High Court Bar Association, Nagpur, to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to all. First of all, a very happy Navaratri to all the esteemed guests present over here. Respected dignitaries, esteemed members, the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon. This is indeed a matter of proud privilege to rise and deliver a vote of thanks on this truly historic occasion. The felicitation of our own member who has risen to the apex institution with his sheer merit, hard work and perseverance. His elevation to the Supreme Court of India. It appears that this year seems to be quite an extraordinary and memorable one for the association. First of all, two of our own, the icons of the association have risen to the apex institution. One, our beloved Honorable Chief Justice of India, Mr. Bhushan R. Gavai, his elevation to the apex institution as the Chief Justice, and followed by the elevation of my Lord Atul Chandurkar as the Judge, Honorable Supreme Court of India. It is also followed with elevations of our esteemed members of the Bar Association as Honorable Judges of this High Court. So indeed, this year is going to be a memorable one. Justice Atul Chandurkar's journey has been one of full of wisdom, humility, and of excellence. His judgment reflects fairness, balance. Also, the legal acumen reflects deep scholarship and clarity. We are especially honored that such meritorious person achieving the heights in our institution is a member of this association. This is indeed a matter of pride and honor. His rise to apex institution is not a matter of achievement only, but a shining example and guiding force for the new generations to come. On behalf of this High Court Bar Association, I take this opportunity to express Honorable the Chief Guest of today's function, Honorable Shri Justice P.S. Narasimha, Judge, Supreme Court of India, for kindly accepting our invitation and felicitating a member of this association and Honorable Judge, Supreme Court of India, Honorable Shri Justice Atul Chandurkar. My Lords, your dignified presence and inspiring words have enriched this occasion. Thank you, my Lords. Thank you for blessing the function. My Lords, we are truly honored that Honorable Shri Justice Atul Chandurkar, a member of this association, is present and has accepted our invitation and granted us an opportunity to this our own High Court Bar Association for conducting the present today's ceremony. He has added laurels to the glory of this glorious association. Thank you, my Lord, for being a guide, a mentor, and a teacher for the young generation. Thank you, my Lords. I am also grateful to Mrs. Gayatri Chandurkar and members of Chandurkar family for gracing today's function. Thank you. I am truly honored that our own member, former secretary of this bar, and our beloved Honorable Chief Justice Nitin Sambre, Judge, Delhi High Court, is present today as our esteemed guest of honor for today's function. Thank you, my Lord, for sparing time and gracing today's function. I am also grateful to Honorable Chief Justice Anil Kilor, Administrative Judge, for his constant support and encouragement to the legal community. I am also grateful to Honorable Chief Justice Vikas Sirpurkar sir, a former Judge Supreme Court of India, former member of the bar, and constant support for the team HCBA. Thank you, my lords, for gracing the function. I extend my sincere gratitude to Honorable Judges, sitting judges of the Bombay High Court, and Honorable former judges of the Bombay High Court who are present today for gracing the function. Thank you, my lords. I am thankful to Principal District Judge Mr. Surana and members of District Judiciary, Mr. Bhushan Shisagar, the Registrar Administration, Mr. Premal Vitlani, Registrar Judicial, and the members of Registry for their valuable presence, for their constant help and support. Mr. Parijat Pande, the Member Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa. I am also grateful to Government Pleader and Senior Advocate Mr. Devendra Chauhan. Thank you for your gracious presence. To the Presidents and Secretaries of various bar associations all over Nagpur and Vidarbha region, thank you all that you people came here and expressed love, shower and affection and mark your presence in today's function. Thank you. Sir Rahul Pande, thank you so much. The Divisional Commissioner, the members of police staff, the Commissioner of Police, the DCP Traffic, the municipal authorities for extending their constant help and support, the members of Public Works Department, the designated senior advocates of the bar, my dear brothers and sisters. Your presence has added glory to this momentous occasion. I thank you all once again for making this event a successful one again. Thank you all and happy Navratri. And last but not the least, I cannot forget the members of print and electronic media who are standing here for the exclusive and wide coverage, who plays a vital role which brings pride to such achievements in the wider public domain. Thank you all.
I now request everyone to kindly rise for the national anthem.
Jana Gana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Uchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
I request all the executive members of the High Court Bar Association to kindly assemble for a group photograph.
Thank you.